Good morning, gardening friends. Joining on with Keith Edwards this morning to talk potatoes. I'm just going to try and join him in. Hang in there, everyone. Good morning.
Hey, Joe.
Hello, you're not upside down today.
Can
Yeah,
you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't hear. I can hardly hear you at all. I don't know what's going on here.
How about now? Can you hear me
No.
now?
Oh,
Oh, that's
well,
weird.
that's all.
I'm just waiting for someone
Don't know
else to
why.
jump on. Maybe do you want to jump out maybe and we try again?
My volume's right up
Yeah,
too.
mine
I can't
too.
understand. Hang on.
I can hear
There
you.
we go.
Oh,
How's that? We're
yeah.
right.
We're good. We're good to go. Hello,
How are
potato
you?
time.
You look cold.
Well, yes, I just checked the temperature before we jumped on it and it's 5 degrees. So, had frost this morning and it was 2 degrees when I dropped off the kids this
Yep.
morning, and it's slowly warming up. The sun's out. So all is well.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Glad it's all well in the
And
world.
I was frantically running around getting everything prepared
Yep.
for today, and now I've lost my notebook and I need it because I actually have like 15 questions.
Yeah.
So now I'm on the hunt to find my book actually. How are you?
Yeah, I'm well, love. Yeah, we're both good. We're getting ready for a bit of a road trip on the weekend, so we're
Yes.
heading up to Shepparton.
Oh, now I've really lost my. Oh no, that's it. I think I remember most of them. Get it inside of my house. This is me. If it's not leaving my secretaires somewhere, here it is.
You got it?
The magic book.
Well done.
Yes, you got a special event happening on the weekend.
Yeah, we've got the Dahlia conference happening this weekend up in Shepparton. So it's Saturday and Sunday. So they've asked me to come up and do a talk on soil health. So that's where we're headed. So the cameraman and I are going up there for a couple of nights in Shepparton. Then we're going to catch up with my daughter and our beautiful granddaughters, the two of those, and spend a couple of days with them as well in Glenrowan.
Oh, that's so
That'll be
good.
lovely.
And obviously soil health,
Yep.
important topic.
It's a very important topic indeed.
And then visiting the kids, an important topic too.
Yes, sure.
Oh, well, you have a nice weekend. So we were thinking that we might have done this video next week because my potatoes hadn't arrived, and they arrived yesterday, and which is great because we wanted to chat ideally to prepare people in advance so they can get themselves ready. So that's why we're jumping on quickly today to get everyone prepared, because this weekend is a bit special with what's happening with the longest day of the year, and you're going to know more of the scientific.
The shortest day, darling.
The shortest. There you go, the shortest day of the year, and it's also
21st.
And it's aligning with the moon calendar as well. Both things.
Yes. Yes, so there's some big changes happening after that, which is good. We start to get lengthening days, which is perfect for growing.
What I thought, longer. We're going to get longer days.
Longer days. So that's perfect for growing all your garlic and these sorts of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is the 21st.
Yes.
So it just so happens
Saturday.
It's the shortest day. And so why is that important for potatoes?
It's more important for bulbs than it is for potatoes, but it just means that we're starting to climb out of the really, really cold period.
Are we?
So we're starting to get lengthening days.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit confusing when you start to speak about the differences with bulbs and with tubers, for instance. And we can get very technical, and it's going to bore people silly, but there's a change that happens during the colder periods of the year. Plants switch from using things called anions during the cold periods to cations in the warmer periods. So it's a much different change in terms of the polarity of things happening within the soil, and that gets very technical. We're not going to bother with that. So we're just going to keep it nice
just
and simple and
because, and
basic.
we'll trust the change, and there's
Yes.
reasons why we do what we do.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I bought a couple of varieties of potatoes, and when I was speaking to you about purchasing them, you said you tend to go for the purple ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I like red ones
Red
in
ones. That's what.
particular. Yeah, we use the red ones. So
That's
we
what I meant.
use
Yeah.
we use Desiree an awful lot. We particularly like those.
Yeah. So do you do a couple of varieties each year, or do you tend to just stick to your
No,
favorite?
I stick to our favourite. So as I said, if we have to buy potatoes, we'll get Desiree because they're a really good all-round potato. Leslie just loves them because they've got lots of lovely flavour. They're only a small potato, so they're easy to peel. They've got a lovely skin on them if you want to roast them or do anything else like that with them. So they're just a good all-rounder. So what I've done is I went and bought some seed potatoes of a red variety.
Yeah.
And then I noticed that some of the ones that we bought from the local supermarket, the eyes were starting to form on those, and that's a good indication that they're starting to turn on. So I've used some of those out of the kitchen and put them into a couple of bags just to sort of see how differently they'll perform. And
Right.
I've also used some that I put into the soil. So a really well composted soil. I planted a whole heap in the soil, and then right next to them, I've got a whole heap in bags.
Okay.
I've got some bag stuffed as well, just to sort of see the difference between growing them in the ground and growing them in bags. It's good to show people that
Yeah.
sort of difference.
And I bought bags for the first time, and it came with a pack of 5.
Yep.
These are from Farm Tech, and I am going to still, because I did do mine in a garden bed last year, and they all rotted, but I think I overwatered. But I will still do some in a garden bed.
Yep.
Just to play around and see how they go.
Yeah, I think you'll have more success with those bags because they're a good breathable bag, and that's the key.
Perfect.
That is the key.
And you
They're
said to look
breathable.
for the Geotech,
Yep.
the Geotech fabric more material. So I found these, and this is a 40-litre
Yep.
bag.
Perfect.
So I thought we could set one up today.
Yep.
Now when you're looking, big truck going past. Sorry. When you're looking at your soil, do they like a particular soil?
They will not be happy in waterlogged soil, which is probably what you experienced last year. This year you've got a total different option because you're going to be growing them in a beautifully composted soil that's full of potting mix that's nice and open that will eventually become compost anyway. And that's the key. So with my bags, my bags are all that geofabric bag themselves. So what happens with those is that when you put your potatoes, and I've just put two in each bag.
Okay, that was a question.
So that was So I put 2 in, and what I've done is in the very bottom, say 100 to 200 mil, I've put the bedding material, which is just like a lovely composted potting mix.
Yeah.
All right. So that goes into the bottom between 100 and 200.
I'm only going to do one because I'm going to do the rest with the kids on Saturday
to
benefit with the kids, obviously, and also with the moon calendar because that's the 21st and 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just got I've got a certified organic. I use Rocky Point. It's certified organic, and it's a garden mix, but we compost as well.
That's fine.
Yep, perfect. And so, you're going up how much to start off with?
100 to 200 mils generally enough for them to get to sit on.
Which is not much.
Well, it's 100 mil.
10 centimeters.
In the old scale is 4 inches.
And in centimeters, 10 centimeters.
Yes, 10 to 15 centimeters. So
yeah,
into the bottom.
I don't know if I can. I'll have to move you back so you can see what I'm doing.
Yep.
Now I wanted to ask about putting also the rock dust and Verisol worm castings. Are we doing that as well?
Yes, we are, and there's a very good reason for adding both of those particular products. The Verisol is going to give a lot of goodness available to the actual tubers themselves. So the roots coming off those will feed off the Verisol. It's just one of the best forms of organic matter that they can possibly get access to.
And will we start putting that at the bottom layer as well?
No, I wouldn't do it that way. So put your 100 ml of your mix into the bottom of that bag first.
That's our garbage man, Gary. He's just so lovely.
That's lovely.
Normally he comes past when the kids are here and we all run out and wave to him. He's just so lovely.
Yeah.
Anyway, I get a
good.
treat when I'm in the garden.
Good on you.
Right. Okay. I've already made a mess.
Yeah, I know. I can see that.
I'm not surprised. So we're only going to put 2 potatoes.
Yeah, you could put 2 or 3. I've just used 2.
Well, I have a lot. So maybe, can you overcrowd them?
Yeah, you can. You can, because they're all competing for the same thing. They're competing for space. They're competing for food. They're competing for moisture. And then when they get up, they're competing for light.
I feel like I want to put 3 in. Is 3 okay?
No, 3's fine.
Okay. So I'm just showing you the soil.
Yep. Beautiful. Yep.
So, sorry, I cut you off when you said about the worm castings and the rock dust. When would we put those in?
I would put those in after you've covered up the potatoes. So you're going to put the potatoes in on 150 ml of that beautiful soil you've got there, and they will sit on the top of that.
I don't know. I feel like that's good.
Yep.
Right.
Well, it just looks like a black hole to me.
It is. Okay, so these are Red Lady ones that I've got here.
Yep.
And now you told me when I received these yesterday, you said go put them in the sun, and at the time there was no sun, but I did get a bit of sun. So is that kind of setting it? What is the sun? Why did I put that in the sun before?
So potatoes like a soil temperature of around about 15 degrees.
Okay.
That's generally what you're looking at. So 15 degrees Celsius is a soil temperature that those potatoes will love and thrive and get on and grow. When you showed me that particular photo, they all came in a knitted a netted bag.
Yeah.
And you can see that they've already started to produce the actual shoots on those. So I just said to you, cut the netting away. Try not to damage those. It wouldn't have made much difference, but it's an opportunity to show people just exactly what's happening with those potatoes. So those little things that are growing there, they are going to be the stems that are going to go up towards the surface that are now going to set potatoes off the sides of them all the way up to the very top. So you put those gently into the bag of the soil you've got there.
I didn't destroy any yesterday. I was so careful.
Good girl. So put 3 in. So spread them well out. Yep.
I wonder if it's still a black hole you can see.
No, I can see that. That's beautiful. Yep, beautiful. That's all good.
Okay.
Now just gently cover those over.
Like how much over?
Well, you could put 100 ml over the top of those again.
Okay. And as the shoots start coming up, when do you start putting more soil? Like how much of the growth before you?
Okay, so what's going to happen now is that those stems are going to grow up through the soil, and what you are looking for is for them to start producing green leaves, and you're looking for a couple of green leaves on each particular stem.
Yep.
And then what you do is you keep backfilling behind those 2 green stems, and this is one option. This is one way of doing it. Look, there are lots of ways you can actually do this. I haven't bothered doing that. I've put my potatoes just sitting on top of 200 ml of potting mix. I've then put some more potting mix over the top of it that I've mixed a little bit of compost in, and that's above all that. And then I've put a little bit of aerosol over that again. And then I filled the whole bag up with compost and potting mix all the way to the top. So I've got a 40-litre bag that's got the potatoes down the very bottom, and that's it.
Right.
Now there's a reason why I've done it that way, is because if you saw me do my post on that, that would have been probably 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That was at the last, well, maybe the time before the last root crop, sequence within the moon calendar. And to this day, there is no sign of any growth coming up through that depth. Now, the beauty about doing it that way is that now that we're into getting towards the end of the first of our winter month, there's nothing for frost to worry about. There's no green life above that soil for that to worry about. But the fact that they're in the black bags, that's drawing and attracting heat on those bags. So that's warming up that soil, which is just providing that perfect environment for those potatoes to turn on and start growing. So I would say that in probably maybe another 4 weeks from now, another month, I might see the actual green life coming above the actual surface. All right, so we're now looking at about 6 to 8 weeks before I get any growth coming above the surface. So that's getting into the second month of winter. So we down where we are, we very rarely get frost, but frost is the one thing that will kill potatoes. You get a frost on it, and that's it. It's game over. It'll just kill the potato. And that's the beauty about having bags, that if you're going to get a frost, you can lift the bag up and take it and stick it under cover somewhere, or you can throw a blanket over the top of it, if it's or even that frost guard that can go over the top of that again, and that'll just protect the potatoes. It just means that you can get a longer growing season, and have a harvest now, and then have another growing session in springtime, late springtime, for instance. You can do another sowing. So it just gives you lots of opportunities. Potatoes take about 120 days in order to develop, and it's generally 30 days after flowering. So when they produce flowers, it's 30 days after that those potatoes are really set and ready to go.
They start to brown off.
That's when they start to brown off, and when that happens, you can start to remove them. If you're desperate for some beautiful little new potatoes, then what you're waiting for is for the flowers to come and the flowers just to die off, and then you can go in and gently feel in around the stems of those potatoes in the soil itself, and find the new potatoes, and just gently pull those off, and then go and stick the hot water on with a bit of salt in it on the stove, drop them in, and I tell you what, that's as good as they're ever going to get, for sure. It is just blissful.
So I'm excited about that, because all mine rotted last year.
I know.
Because I was having them, they were going to be ready right on Christmas, and I had in my mind I was going to make this potato salad anyway. Pulled them all out, and we could put our fingers through. So if they've got the little bag window, would you pick any from the bottom, or just, because these come with a little window?
I know. Yeah.
Would you worry about trying to get the bottom ones, or all come apart anyway?
No, look, I would leave it. If you want to do the new potatoes, then do those after flowering, and just go in from the top. You don't need to go in from the bottom.
Yeah.
Down the bottom is going to be all the big ones that are going to be keepers.
Why do they put the window there? What's it for then?
It's a bit of a gimmick.
Yeah.
They can sell them as potato bags.
Yeah.
Big deal. I mean, there's lots of ways of growing potatoes, and some of the easiest ways is to grow them in a wire cage.
Yeah, I've seen with a straw.
Yeah, just with straw around. So you have a round circle of a wire with some stakes to support them, and then in the very, very bottom you put some beautiful composted soil. You put your potatoes on top of that. You cover those with some composted soil, and then you just pack straw in all the way up. And you can go up 1.5 meters, at least, all the way up through that. And then once the potatoes have browned off, the leaves have all browned off, and the flowers are well and truly dead, you just open that up and pull the whole thing over and just get in there and harvest it. And it's just a great way of doing it. If you don't have any problems with frost.
Yeah.
The beauty about the bag is you can pick the bag up and move them, or just chuck something over the top of them, and you're fine.
So what you spoke about before was you've just filled yours with the top
All the
soil
top.
now.
Yep.
So what's the benefit of doing it by stages?
Okay.
Like which way would people choose?
Right. If you want to get a lot more potatoes all the way up the actual stem that is coming up through that potting mix, what's going to happen is if you chase the top growth all the way up to the surface, what you're doing then is you are saying to that potato stem, here's an opportunity for you to grow more potatoes off the side. So what happens is the stem will come up through the centre, and then it will produce little runners off to the side that'll have potatoes sticking all the way up right up to the surface. And you can go up as high as you like on that. You can go up to 2 meters if you wanted to. So you're just getting an enormous amount of return back on your potatoes that you put in there. It just means that then that you can do that bandicooting because you're going to have the smaller potatoes higher up the stems.
Yeah.
So you can get in there and get those little tiny chats that they're called, that have got a real soft skin, that are just full of flavour and beautiful with a bit of salt and butter. That's the way Leslie loves to have them. Or you can just leave them in the bag and let them just do their thing. Just make sure that they're getting plenty of moisture.
Yeah.
So another thing that we mentioned was rock dust, which you've got there. Yes. All right. So in my situation with the Monash rock dust, I have filled my bags right up to the top. I've mixed through it the Vera soil worm compost. That's all mixed in through it. So get your bag of that. So that's all mixed into that beautiful organic soil you've got there. Not to the stage where it is too much of that heavy organic matter, but it's just a nice sort of a mix that you've got through it, because you don't want the potatoes to rot.
Yeah,
which is what
we don't.
What should probably happen before.
It's heartbreaking.
And
a lot of comments came through just saying that theirs didn't work out, and I'm like, well, let's just keep going. We can do this. So I've got the 10 centimeters of soil down the bottom. I've just put in the potatoes and 10 centimeters of soil on again. So how much would I put a bit of this in now? The soil.
So sprinkle it over the top and just fluff it in. Just fluff it in with your hands.
Fluff I can do.
Yep. That's lovely. Yep, just mix it in into that soil profile.
I'm fluffing. Here we go.
There we go.
Okay. And what about the Vera soil?
Same thing.
Fluff again.
So fluff it in with that. Now, the beauty about using the Monash rock dust is this: a plant that has got plenty of access to plenty of good nutrients and access to mineral content, they are less susceptible to frost than any other type of plant. Any plant that has not got that mineral content is not going to be as reactive to putting up with cold temperatures as those that have got it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that if you use the mineral rock dust in your potato bag, what will happen then is that those minerals will go into your potatoes, and potatoes will not. You can store those potatoes for a lot longer than potatoes that have not got any mineral content in them, because those potatoes, if you left them for a long period of time, those potatoes will dehydrate rather than rot.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay. Gotcha.
So it's the high mineral content that will enable those potatoes to last for a long period of time. And that's just for the potato.
Yeah.
Just imagine the benefits that you're getting out of all those trace elements and minerals.
Brilliant. Well, I'm all sorted then. That's good. So I have done all that. So I'm going to water it. How much?
You do this. You do the watering on that exactly the same way that you should be checking your indoor plants. Stick your finger in the potting mix, and if it comes out moist, that's fine. It's done.
Yes.
What you need to do now is you need to determine how you're going to grow your potatoes. Are you going to chase up that little green piece up to the top,
Well,
or are
I
you going
might
to just?
try one of each. Give it a go. The only thing is, if you're chasing it up, you're going to have to be very mindful of the frost. Like if you go filling it to the top, you got yourself more time and not having to chase the frost.
Yep.
Yeah. So because falls, we get frost all the time. It will
Yep.
just that you really need to be on top of it if you
Exactly.
are filling as you go. That would be
Yep.
probably the. Why I can imagine just filling it to the top would be a lot easier to manage. Give yourself a couple of months.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And that's I said that's why I've done mine the way that I've done it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, so I had like 20 questions, but we've answered a lot of them.
Good.
Oh yeah, I wanted to know, like, because I'm going to do some in the bags, some in my garden beds, and obviously we sell wicking beds as well. How do they go in a wicking bed?
Look, they should be fine in a wicking bed because the moisture is more or less controlled.
Yes.
And as long as you've got a good medium in there, I don't think that'll be a problem.
Yeah, and because the idea of the wicking bed, it just stays like the damp, moist consistency all the time.
Yes.
And I just thought it would be fine, but I thought I'd double check about that one.
But,
Would you put different varieties in the same area or keep them separate?
no, they're all potatoes as far as I'm concerned.
Okay,
they're not going to. They're not. You know, if you were someone that was looking at a huge return back on the potato that you were putting in there, then you would have gone for something like what we're talking about. Probably the best would be the cream one. I'm just trying to think what it's called now. God, it's gone out of my head.
Is it the Dutch something? The
Dutch
cream?
Dutch cream. Yeah.
Look at me knowing things.
Thank you. so
I'm surprised myself.
Dutch cream will produce an awful lot more than most of the other varieties. You know, you get a couple of kilos per plant.
Yeah, brilliant.
Whereas the others are about 700.
So, where the idea of everyone's got their potatoes ready to grow, Saturday is a good day for it. When's getting too late to start planting? Because you said spring, but is there a period like after Saturday where it's just like, oh, you've missed your window to plant for winter?
No, there's not. Where we are, we don't get frost, so we can plant potatoes nearly all year round.
Okay,
So you'll notice that a lot of these businesses will have them available now, and as I said, if you're happy to maintain them and look after them and make sure that they're not going to get hit with frosts, then you can do them in bags and all the rest of it, and not a worry in the world. It's the frost that is the key to it. You know, that's the biggest problem.
Because
is the frost.
When I went to plant them last year, they said, a couple of people said, they wait for the last frost before they plant, but that might be because they don't want to have to deal with the frost. Yeah, because that really can be like nearly August for us.
Yeah. Yeah,
late July.
And the other thing too is that with doing them in a bag, if you can place the bags where they're still getting enough light once they've come out through the top of the mulch, if you can put those bags up against a heat sink like a wall of a house, you're getting that radiated heat happening through it, and they will just take off. And the same thing will apply to your raised beds with the corrugated iron. If you plant them fairly close, to the actual edge of the tin, then they're going to enjoy that sort of environment pretty well too.
Yeah, there we go. That's the bed that they all rotted in last year. But I did overwater them.
Got something else in there.
Yeah, they're the garlics. Someone messaged Nadji up in Glargenbone. She said about sweet potatoes, but they're just a whole different approach of planting them.
Yeah,
I think I lost signal.
Sweet potatoes will grow in a colder environment than for a longer period of time than normal potatoes. Our neighbour, for instance, over the back's got sweet potatoes that are in full leaf now, but she won't be harvesting those for another couple of months. And we're lucky enough down here because, as I said, frost is the biggest killer, but utilising that Monash rock dust and also using that frost guard that I've showed you last time, spraying that over the leaves once they come through, that will help them enormous amounts.
But planting sweet potatoes is a different approach.
Yeah, it is. They're a subtropical plant. More they do better in the warmer months. So coming, they should be being harvested about. They could be harvested about now, really. Sweet potatoes.
Yeah, and we've seen these are my ones here. We're going a bit off topic because it's just a potato day, but they've been hit a little bit by the frost.
Yep.
But they've still got like the flowering.
Yeah. They look
Parts
all right.
of it.
They look all good.
So just leave them for now.
Leave them.
Yep. And I thought I could do my potatoes in that one once I harvest out the sweet potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
When you said you could nearly do them all year round, so could you be harvesting some of yours and then let them go to, like, in the cupboard for a certain amount of time and the eyes start, and then you can use your own again?
Yeah, you can do that. You're breaking up a lot, Joe. You must be in a bad area.
Oh, I've had bad reception like the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Can you keep using your own potatoes?
Yeah, you can, because you've grown them in a controlled environment. They're not growing out in soil where they've been subjected to pesticides and fungicides and all sorts of other hideous things that some of these potato growers use.
Yeah.
So the stuff you've got growing in out of your own beds, you can reuse those. That's not a problem. You're not gonna come across problems doing it that way,
unless you're
because you're controlling that environment. Yeah.
Unless you rot them, don't use those. And so you need to wait for the eyes to form before you can plant. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Right. And when do you? So okay, I don't have that. I'm thinking once I'm like got this under control and I've got a huge harvest, I can keep some for next time. But right now I don't. So I bought mine from the seed collection. Is that where you tend to buy yours from?
Yeah. Yeah, I got mine from the seed collection. But there's lots of crowds. The Diggers Club's got heaps of varieties out all the time. There's plenty of places you can get your seed potatoes from, as long as they're certified seed varieties. That's all. Then they've been grown in controlled environments. I used to collect when I was out on the road. I used to collect potatoes from potato growers for the Diggers Club. And they were just grown out out in the paddocks, down Ballarat, Bendigo way. So they were commercially grown. They're not lab grown or anything else like that. But one of the big things about growing your own potatoes is the control that you've got over them, and how nutrient dense you can actually make them. As I said, nutrient dense are not going to rot; they're going to dehydrate at the worst. So they last so much longer. And then there are an awful lot of potato growers who actually, once the leaves have come on and the flowers have the flowers are just about gone, another 30 odd days before they harvest it, they go out and spray them with glyphosate 360. So that's got to affect the bulb. That sort of rubbish has got to get into the food chain somewhere along the line.
It's scary,
and it is scary, because if you've got more control over what you're doing and you're giving them the best possible start, then that's the best thing for you.
Yeah. I'm moving again because I'm like gone all glary. So I haven't seen any questions come through. I had like a lot of questions. And so basically I'm like right up against the hedge. You can do in bags, either follow the stem up as the leaves, or you can just fill straight to the top. Or you can do your wire cage, or you can put into a garden bed or a wicking bed. So there's heaps of different varieties, different ways to go about it.
There is. One of the biggest advantages of doing them in a bag, in one of those geofabric bags, is that as the potato is growing, it sends out a root system, and that root system goes out to the extremities of the bag. Now, it can't penetrate through the bag itself. And what happens is you get what is called air pruning. So the air outside the bag prunes off the ends of the roots of the potatoes. And that then means that that root system builds up behind the back of that and produces a lot more potatoes. So the
Well, that
bags
sounds
are
good
a
to me.
fabulous,
Yeah.
fabulous way of doing it.
Yeah.
And the beauty about the bags is that when the time comes to harvest, you just upend the whole bag and you compost what's there and put the bags away and grow them again next time.
Yeah. I love
They're
it.
terrific. Yep.
Well, that's all my potato questions, and no more have come through. So I think my
Nope.
billion questions might have answered everything.
That's great.
Nadji's just jumped on. She said she was going to be at work today. She's had couple of questions. Nadji, we got your questions answered in the video, so I'll do it as a repost. I'll put it on as a post, so you
Yep.
can watch it back over.
Okay.
I think that's
Beautiful.
it.
That's it.
Ready,
Beautiful.
set, grow. So yes, the root period is Saturday, Sunday, and so you can get in with all your other root veggies as well on the weekend. So,
Exactly.
look at why would you not do beetroot? Look at that.
Oh, look at it. Yeah. And do you actually harvest the leaves and have those as well?
I've been a bit lazy. No, I haven't as much this time around, but I have, and I need to do it more. Do you
Oh,
do
look,
yours like just as a salad leaf, or can you like saute them as well?
you can throw them into a stir
Yeah.
fry. Absolutely. And if you actually pick the leaves and the stems off and squeeze that stem, it will ooze the colour of the beetroot, and that is just chock full of goodness too.
Yes.
It is just fabulous. We had the grandkids up a couple of weekends ago, and they'd never seen beetroot growing before. And when I picked the leaf and gave it to them, I said, "What does this taste like?" And they said, "It tastes like beetroot." Well, that's
I
because it
love it.
is.
I love it. No,
Yeah,
that's good. And I
beautiful.
just planted a whole nother bed of it, so I've got like everlasting beetroot.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
It's a
Potato
pleasure,
time.
darling. Okay.
We'll catch up soon, and I can't wait for the Warren Open Day. I've just booked my accommodation for Warren for the we're going to stay 2 nights, 17th and 18th.
Yep.
So everyone book your accommodation for the Warren Open Day, and we'll see Keith there.
I'm looking forward to meeting all of you. Really am.
Oh,
Particularly you, Joe.
I can't wait to give you a good old hug. But we'll chat lots
Beautiful. All
before
right,
then.
darling.
Thanks everyone for
Okay.
joining in. Bye.
Bye.